Am I the asshole for excluding my older sister for having parentification trauma? My 35F younger siblings, 34F, 31M, 31F, 30M, were practically raised by our oldest sister, 40F. Neither of our parents were there for us, so she had to act like a mother to us despite being a child herself. She never had time for studying, socializing, or hobbies, and both her grades and her mental health were greatly affected. She started working at age 13 and dropped out of school at 16 to work full-time to support us. Due to her childhood, she can't handle being around children at all. They trigger her trauma, and she starts crying, panicking, and having anxiety attacks. We've all tried to be supportive of her. The thing is, between the 5 of us, we have 16 children aged between 7 months and 12 years. We all live in the same town, and we try to spend time with our sister, but we have to look after our kids too. Anytime we invite her to family gatherings, she refuses to come if our kids are around. The thing is, we can't just leave our kids every time she wants to hang out, and we can't ban our own children from family events. She would complain every time we refused to have a child-free event and say we need to include her more. Eventually, we stopped inviting her to events. My sister was furious with us for excluding her. She called us ungrateful for sacrificing her childhood to raise us. She accused us of abandoning her just like our parents did, and said it wasn't fair for her to be ostracized from such a close-knit family after all that she done for us. Of course I'm grateful for what she did, but I can't ignore my own kids. Am I the asshole? Everyone sucks here. She is holding all of you responsible for your parents' bad behavior. That's unfair. I assume here that she's tried therapy to resolve her feelings as much as possible, because avoiding children in life is pretty impossible. However, you and your siblings should still be extending invitations, regardless of whether you know she will decline or complain. The ball needs to stay in her court to maintain these relationships. And in the interim, or forever, if she can't get past this, you and your siblings should make time for her either in small groups or one-on-one. Not every date in life has to include the kids. You are the asshole. Assuming you or some of your siblings work, you find 40 hours a week to be away from your kids. But somehow you can't organize 4 hours a month to get together with the sister who raised you. And it's pretty disgusting that you've set it up in your own head that if you do organize something with your sister that you would be ignoring your own kids. Your sister needs therapy to overcome her trauma. Cutting her off will not help. Ultimately, it is her responsibility to get help. But if you and your siblings would regularly meet with her, over time she'll be happy to hear about your kids. And who knows, you might even plan something with your sister and the older kids to go to the zoo or something your sister can handle. You are the asshole. As you said, your sister gave up her entire life for all of you. She was mentally abused throughout her entire childhood, pushed into a role she didn't choose or even ask for, worried about things no child should have to worry about, and had to do things no child should ever have to do because no one else would. You acknowledge all of this, yet you and your siblings seriously can't arrange childcare for even one goddamn night for your sister? Jesus, how selfish can you be? Info. Are you still making an actual effort to have regular visits with her that do not involve the kids? I'm a parent, we have a lot of kids, so I'm not unaware of the challenges involved in that, but she gave up her childhood so you could have one. Surely she deserves a kid-free coffee chat once a month. I know it's not easy, but I think you should really try to organize childcare so you can spend more time with her without the kids. She was dealt a really shitty hand, and what she did for you as kids was really selfless. Now it is time to reciprocate if you really love her. I find it so disheartening that you guys abandon her now like this. Of course you didn't ask her to raise you, but she did because she loved you and cared for you. You really can't make space for her in your life if it is a little inconvenient? You are the asshole. You are the asshole. She did sacrifice her own childhood, future, health and happiness for the rest of you. The least you could do is arrange occasional, child-free hangouts. Am I the asshole for writing my daughter's name or initials in her clothes? So I, M26, write my daughter's, F5, name or initials on all the clothes I buy her, so when she goes to her mother's, F26, house, her mother can't say she didn't get any clothes from my house and keep the clothes. I know this sounds petty, but I started doing it after my ex started getting mad that I was keeping clothes she got our daughter. So I made sure she got every clothes that she said was missing, and started writing in my daughter's clothes. Like just on her tags or something easy to spot so no one gets confused. My ex recently started getting mad at me for doing this. But I pointed out that this helps us not confusing clothes and everyone gets their outfits back since that matters. I'll only write in the clothes I get my daughter, and if my ex sends her in clothes that don't belong here, I wash them and I'll either send my daughter back in those or I'll put them in her backpack and let my ex know. Short, but I do need to know. Reddit, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. This sounds like she just has residual resentment from the breakup or divorce. Don't make it a bigger issue by responding negatively. Just say, "This helps me," when she brings it up. Rinse. Repeat. No drama. You got this. Not the asshole. It really sounds like your ex just wants a reason to get upset with you. She accuses you of keeping the clothes she buys for y'all daughter, and she gets upset with you when you write your daughter's name or initials on the tag to avoid the confusion. This is just a lose-lose situation. Not the asshole, so she got mad at you for the one thing, then got mad at you for coming up with a reasonable solution. Yeah, she's just looking for a reason to be mad at you at this point. Nothing wrong with your approach. Not the asshole, you are avoiding any future conflict by being clear about who bought what. Your ex needs to chill out. If she wants, she can do the same on her end. Not the asshole, it's totally reasonable for you to label your daughter's wares or clothes, especially given the history with your ex. This approach not only helps keep track of her belongings but also promotes clear communications about what each parent is providing. It's a practical solution that benefits everyone involved, particularly your daughter. I think of this in a different way. The clothes are your daughter's, shouldn't matter who paid for them. The clothes do not belong to one parent or the other. They belong to the child. Am I the asshole for not letting my stepbrother stay with me when he starts off at college? My girlfriend, 24 female, and I, 25 male, became homeowners a year ago. My brother, 18 male, moved in with us after he finished high school in May so he can attend community college in our town. This was something we had planned with him months in advance, and we were both on board with the idea. He's settled in well and has a job, started classes, made new friends and everything. Now my dad and his wife are expecting me to let my stepbrother, 17 male, move in next year when he starts college. My dad was not informed of my brother's plan to live with me. My brother waited until May to tell him what was happening, and my dad wasn't happy that I had been talking to my brother about college and where he'd live, but not my stepbrother. My dad and his wife married when I was 11 and my mom died when I was 9, so I lived with them. For that reason my dad feels like my stepbrother isn't just a stepsibling but a sibling and should be given the same chance. I disagree, and I never thought of my stepbrother as my sibling. To me my brother was always my only sibling. We were close and I'd spend time with him when I could. Never did the same for my stepbrother, and I don't keep in touch since moving out. It just wasn't the same to me. I'm not all that close to my dad either, so really it's just my brother, and now he lives with me. Anyway, I said no to my stepbrother staying with me and told them they'd need to figure out something else. Dad accused me of playing favorites and tried to berate me for it. I told him I was happy to have my brother live with me, but he's my only brother. I stopped taking their calls and ignore their texts, but there have been many from Dad and his wife saying I'm acting like a dick. My stepbrother also reached out and asked why I didn't want to let him live with me, and he promised he'd work and help around the house like my brother. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, there's nothing wrong with you and your brother communicating and planning his move. I don't know if you have room for a second person coming in, but either way it's your choice in not wanting that, or that you want that with someone over another person. These are personal choices that affect your daily life. Sounds like your dad is acting dumb in not having known how you're not as close with your stepbrother. Not the asshole, your dad's opinion is not valid because it's your house and you get to do what you want. You get to decide who you want in your home. It's weird for your dad to try to impose on you like that. I'm no contact with my parents. While it's difficult, I'm better off for it. Don't let him bully you and try to make you finish raising his stepson. That's so odd. You're definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole, tell your father to man up and support his own children. Both of those boys are his responsibility, not yours. Ask him how many other fatherly responsibilities is he going to try to shove off on you. He is mad you aren't supporting him as a brother, but he is actively trying to not support him as a father. I often wonder reading these posts why people feel insulting someone. Calling them names will make them change their minds. For me, it would strengthen my resolve to not cave to their demands. Yes, he's your stepbrother, but that doesn't mean you have to let him live with you. In all honesty, he could be 100% your biological brother and you don't have to let him live with you. I'm sure your girlfriend thanks you. She didn't buy a house with you to let all of your relatives move in. It's not your job to provide for your siblings, bio or step, after they turn 18. That's not how this works. They are just trying to get out of dealing with and caring for the stepbrother. Am I the asshole for refusing to wear what my mom spent 8 hours sewing for me? Mike, 22 female, first Comic-Con is tomorrow, and I had planned to wear a bodysuit version of the Fallout jumpsuit with some jeans. While I wanted to representative my favorite game, I wasn't quite confident enough to go all out with the full suit. I decided this might be a fun opportunity to learn how to sew, so I spent roughly 20 hours and $60 on fabric, patterns, materials and the bodysuit, only to end up only getting halfway. I decided to ask my mom for advice since she sews professionally and it was only 3 days away from the con. We agreed in trade for doing some work for her. She said she would make the suit for me. I showed her the jumpsuit, my materials and shared my vision of it being a bodysuit instead. She told me I was struggling because the fabric I picked wasn't right. Therefore she was going to pick up some different blue stretchy material and use the other things I bought to assemble the suit. Today, the day before the con, I learn instead of making the suit she has spent 8 hours making a glittery rainbow full jumpsuit since they were out of stock of blue fabric. She suggested I could be a lizard lady or equivalent instead. While I appreciate her effort, I am pretty devastated about not being able to be in my planned outfit since I only wanted to dress up since I love the game. I have now refused to wear the outfit and she is really disappointed her hard work is going to waste. So I just want to know, am I the asshole for being upset and not wearing the outfit which took her 8 hours? Edit. Just to answer some questions. Did I show appreciation for the sewing? I didn't really let on how upset I was but did try to explain that it's really different to what I wanted, though I appreciate the effort. What was wrong with the fabric? I bought the fabric based on what the back of the pattern said could be used, but it was too thin for the look I was going for. Could I have been contacted? I was at work while she was sewing, but I had my phone on me and I often reply to messages on my break. She doesn't usually not contact because I'm at work. Did I still do the work in the trade? I have already done it and would have followed through either way. Her profession. She sews soft furnishings and curtains etc., but she has experience with clothing. This was also understood to be a rush job. I wasn't super concerned with it being 100% accurate, hence no fittings etc. Also I did show her several images. Final edit. Thank you for the advice. I appreciate my mom made a mistake and I could have put more effort in as well. I will solidify I am thankful for the effort and go as a disco lady or something like that for Halloween instead. I also have a new understanding for sewing's complexities and will start really early if I want to dress up next year. Not the asshole. If your mother is a professional seamstress, she knows the customer's vision is what matters. If you had given her permission to do whatever she likes, then fine, but you showed her the photo of what you wanted and she disregarded it without consulting with you. She wouldn't have gotten paid by a real customer and you don't have to wear it and you don't have to do whatever work you promised to do in trade. Do not take the outfit from her. Just go to the event and have fun. Wear simple black or something. Not the asshole, but if you haven't already done whatever work you agreed to in exchange for her helping you with the costume, make sure you still do it for her. Yes, she shouldn't have changed the costume without asking you and coming up with an alternative costume together, but she was trying to help. Unless you have reason to believe she maliciously sabotaged it, then you should do what you agreed to do. Next time you go to a con, if she offers to help, just make sure you provide the materials yourself, so if the store doesn't have what you wanted in stock you can figure out a decent replacement. Not the asshole. Your mother sews professionally? She ignored the first rule, never ignore what the client wants. She completely ignored what you wanted and made what she wanted. Maybe you can wear the rainbow jumpsuit for Halloween. As a con veteran, buy a t-shirt associated with the game and wear it with jeans. You didn't have a fitting at all? She kept the whole thing a secret? No. Not the asshole. You had a specific vision for your first con, and it's understandable to feel upset when that was completely disregarded. While your mom's effort is appreciated, she changed the outfit without consulting you, which isn't fair when it's something you were excited about and invested time and money into. It's okay to want to wear something that reflects your love for the game rather than a last-minute alternative that doesn't fit your vision.